on the Aggie Sports Network. From Learfield, Aggie football has been brought to you by Ford, build Ford proud, and by Stokes Trucking, doing the right thing since 1979. Welcome to Aggie Postgame.
Woo! What a game tonight. Utah State 34, UConn 33. Hallelujah. Where's the Tylenol? Aggies, thanks to an Ike Larson blocked extra point with 40 seconds left. And the Aggies are going to escape with a 1-point victory after being down 17-0 with just 34 seconds left in the second quarter. Get a touchdown right before halftime. They end up taking a 7-point lead, but see UConn go the length of the field, punch it in with 40 seconds left to try to send this game into overtime. But Ike bleeping Larson sneaks in, gets the blocked extra point, and the Aggies win 35-34. My goodness.
Scotty, that'll make this plane ride home really sweet. But I think that this is what Aggie fans are just going to have to realize that this team is going to be. At one point, it was 186-5 in terms of total yardage. Look how it ends up. 476 for UConn, 416 for Utah State. They just keep at it. What a series of events there at the end of the second quarter. Down 17-0. UConn gets the field goal to go up by 3 scores. And in 2 plays, McKay Hillstead, a quarterback draw for a first down. Remember, that was only their second first down of the entire first half. And then the 63-yarder to Colby Bowman. The Aggies go down by 10 instead of 17 in the locker room at halftime, and then come right back out in the second half in the third quarter, outscore UConn 17-0, and then just kept going behind Cooper Legas, who ends up 11 of 13 for 204 and 3 touchdowns. Remember, Hillstead went out of the game in that third quarter, in that first drive of the third quarter, on the 31-yarder to Jalen Royals that kept the drive alive, and then it was Cooper Legas that finished it off with a 15-yard scoring toss to Royals, who ends up, by the way, Jalen Royals, 7 catches, 185, and 3 touchdowns tonight. Unbelievable resiliency and finish ability from this Utah State football team.
Today's post-game show brought to you by Farm Bureau agent Bruce Jones. Make sure to contact him, 435-752-3233 today. It's your future. Bruce is going to protect it, much like Ike Larson just protected this game. And by the way, as a guy that played the position, as a guy that, you know what it's like to go in and out of a lineup, Cooper Legas had every opportunity to just mentally check out of the season, losing his starting job, and he comes in 11 of 13 passing, 204 yards, 3 touchdowns, a quarterback rating of 292.6, a completion percentage of 85%. Props to that young man to be mentally ready and prepared to go in and save this game for Utah State.
He was ready, and we talked about it 2 weeks ago at Air Force when he was taken out of that game, that he needed to keep himself mentally sharp because McKay Hillstead was going to take a lot of hits, and he did last week against James Madison and kept getting up, but he took that major hit in the third quarter here, and Cooper Legas was ready, and he came in and led Utah State on that drive, and then 4 more consecutive drives on scoring attempts for touchdowns and field goals for Utah State, and the Aggies somehow stay the course, remain resilient, don't give in, and walk out of here with a 1-point victory. Unbelievable.
Well, we talk about a season on a brink, and we talk about games that can change the direction of a season. Last year was Air Force, when Utah State started the season 1-4, and Cooper Legas, in his second start, led a huge game in a win against Air Force to really change the outlook of the season. We might look back on the 2023 season and say the win against UConn changed the outlook of the season.
I think there's no question, especially when you're down 17 and you look lifeless. You've traveled 2 time zones. You're playing in a bad weather morning. They had every excuse to just kind of fold it up and walk away and just wilt. But they didn't do it. And Cooper Legas, props to him. McKay Hillstead, props to the defense. MJ Tafisi with 13 tackles. Switzer with 10. Devin Dye with 10. The defense, just enough plays. And then at the end of the day, it's Ike Larson as UConn lines up to tie this football game that breaks through and gets his 5th block kick of his career to ice this one away. it's an amazing team victory, and you could see the kids at the middle of the field at the end of this game hugging their head coach. Knew that this was a big-time win for this program to come here all the way across the country to get this W.
Not an easy one. This is one that you're going to remember for a long, long time. Again, it's not a good UConn team. They're 0-4. But it doesn't matter. Wins are wins. You just need to stack them. And Utah State got a much-needed win today against UConn to get to 2-3 on the season. We'll take a break, come back. You're listening to the Aggie post-game show right here on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield. Stokes Trucking, doing the right thing since 1979. Make sure to check them out online at stokestrucking.com. Their long road trip back to Logan is going to be a lot sweeter as well for the guys for Stokes after a big W today. 34-33. We'll continue on with your post-game show next. This is Aggie Football from Learfield.
Adams Wealth Advisors is proud to announce that they've been named as one of the best financial advisory firms in the country by USA Today. Start maximizing your wealth potential with a team of experienced advisors who specialize in working with high net worth individuals. Let Adams Wealth Advisors help you achieve your financial goals with a personalized approach to investment management and planning. For more information on how Adams Wealth Advisors can help you achieve your financial goals, go to adamswealthadvisors.com. That's adamswealthadvisors.com.
Hi, my name is Chad Mangum from Aggies Home Health and Hospice. For the last 21 years, I've been providing nursing services to the community of Cache, Box Elder, and Rich counties. Aggies represents the breastplate of Zeus and is symbolic of being a protector of the community. At Aggies Healthcare, we know you will experience the difference. With our core values of character, experience, and trust, we know that we can meet any of your healthcare needs wherever you call home. Call us today at 723-9000 or check us out at myagis.com.
Hello, I'm Becky Funk, Branch Operations Manager at Cache Valley Bank. I've spent 13 years in banking and I'm ready to use my experience to help you with your accounts and financial goals. I have a great team of tellers and bankers who provide you with the personalized attention you deserve. Come visit me at our main branch or give me a call. Let me help you open an account and show you what makes us so great. We look forward to meeting you. Cache Valley Bank member FDIC.
Spend less time at the post office. With Formax and Mint mailing systems from Les Olson IT, you can quickly, accurately, and easily process your outgoing mail and even save on postage. Fold your documents, stuff and seal your envelopes, print addresses, weigh and measure to apply proper postage, all with the click of a button. With multiple model options available, you're sure to find a Formax solution and Mint mailing device that perfectly fits your business needs.
Les Olson IT.
This Utah State Aggie broadcast is brought to you by Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat in North Logan and Providence on News Talk KVNU, where our true colors have always been Aggie blue and white.
Royals would be a massive understatement. 7 catches, 185 yards, 3 touchdowns, 116 yards after the catch. What a day for this young man, and he joins us now. Jalen, congratulations. What a heck of a day for you out there.
Thank you, man. I'm just blessed, that's all.
So, Jalen, obviously your running mate out there, Terrell Vaughn, they were bracketing him all game long, and he ends up with 0 catches tonight. But that meant that you needed to step up. And so maybe talk about your role as you knew that they were bracketing Terrell today.
Terrell's a fantastic player, so, I just had to step up. They was giving me one-on-one coverage on the outside, and I just had to make the most of it.
So we got 3 touchdowns to talk about. We can go through each and every one of them, but the one, obviously your last one, where obviously it's contested, you're able to bring it down, break a tackle, get into the end zone. Kind of walk us through what you saw on that play and how that thing played out.
It was a choice route, and the safety stayed down, so I just took the go ball, and Coop threw it a little behind me, but I had to adjust to it, and then the defender he didn't wrap up, so I just made him pay.
When you're down 17-0, Jalen, and you're just really not getting anything going there in the first half, what are you guys saying to each other on the sideline?
We're just saying just keep going. We've been struggling all in the first quarter, almost every game. So we knew it was nothing new, and we tried to keep going and keep fighting.
Maybe talk about your second score as well. It was just a little slip out to you, and then Brock got a great block on the outside, and you're able to take it all the way down the sideline for 71 yards. Talk about that play.
Yeah, it was a screen, and the safety came down and came inside, so I just went out and blocked. Brock did a great job on the block, and I just, hit the edge and kept going to the end zone.
So how important, I don't know, this is kind of a dumb question to ask, but the Kobe Bowman touchdown, you're down 17-0. You get that Kobe Bowman touchdown right before halftime, and instead of being 17, you're down 10. How does that change the mood of a team going into halftime when you're able to cut into that lead like that?
It definitely sparked us. We were, struggling on offense, and we was putting the defense out there a lot, and to get a score, going into halftime down by 10, and then we get the ball at half. It sparked us a lot because we knew what we were capable of, but we just weren't achieving. So that definitely helped us out.
So Jalen, must have been some sort of scene in the locker room. Talk about what that celebration was like.
Yeah, it was a lot of banging in the locker room and yelling, but it was pretty fun. Taking pictures and all that stuff. So yeah.
All right, so when you look at the situation and you start the season 1-3 to get a W like this, what can this mean for this team going forward? How do you build on this to make sure that you can keep it rolling?
We just got to keep one game at a time, Coach tell us to, just keep going one game at a time. And we just got to honestly keep pushing at it. We were struggling all season in the first quarter, so we just got to get that right. And I think once we get that right, we're a pretty good team because most of the teams we done played, we're down 10 points, maybe, 7 points. And if we just keep going, I think we could be a really, really good team.
And talk about your guys up front. You're banged up, Poulet out, Ralph out, Cole out, and you got a bunch of freshmen out there playing for you. Talk about the job that those guys did up front.
Yeah, O-line did amazing, They're still young, so of course, they're going to have their battles, but, they did a good job in the push, and we needed that to open up the run game and also to open up the pass game for me and other receivers out there.
Hey, before we let you go, I want to get your story here because I've heard the coach's side of this story. What led you to that infamous workout with Utah State a couple summers ago where you blew the coaching staff away and you ended up playing here at Utah State because it was just an open camp and an open invitation? How did you decide, I want to go to Utah State, I want to try to figure out if I can get a spot there?
Honestly, it was really just trying to get my name out there, honestly. And then Coach Dave, who's not here no more, but he texted me and told me to come out. And I came out and I showed out, and I got an offer and committed. A couple days later, and I just wanted to get out of JUCO, and that's probably like the biggest thing, honestly. Just because I wasn't getting too many offers out of JUCO, so I just wanted to just get out of JUCO and then make the most of it.
What was the? I've heard a couple. What was the 40 time? Do you remember?
I think it was 4.30 or 4.33. One of the two.
Yeah, I heard it was 4.31, and then they made you run it again, and it was like 4.32 because nobody believed it. But yeah, that's awesome, man. Hey, congratulations. Look forward to more of these conversations, and keep it rolling. Let's do it again next week, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You got it.
7 catches, Scotty, 185 yards in a day when Terrell Vaughn, one of the nation's leaders in receptions, didn't get one. It was Jalen Royals, 185 yards and 3 scores, and what a game for that young man.
Well, a man who never disappoints when it comes to an interview, and he's got stuff to talk about. Ike Larson, block kick number 5 on his career, joining us now. So, Ike, look, there's a lot of stuff we can talk to, but let's just get right to the important stuff. Talk us on the setup on that extra point, what you saw, because it looks like you guys were laying in wait to unveil that, and you hit it right at the exact time when you needed it the most.
Yeah, so the whole game throughout, their field goals or their PATs that they made after a touchdown, that right side was kind of their weak link. So we didn't want to spoil the block on the right too fast or, use it too late. So, we kind of knew what was going to happen, and we knew that side wasn't going to block as well as the left side. So when the time came, we called our call, and, it just happened, and it all went down in history. So.
Ike, what is it about this group that you get behind every game and then you guys are so resilient? Yeah. What is it about the makeup of this team that makes that happen for you guys?
Honestly, starting, everybody knows, we got to work on our starts, but the way we can come back and, try to fight back and claw into the games is unbelievable. And I just think it has everything to do with how much we love each other as a family, on and off the field especially. So, it really just comes down to that. We're a brotherhood, and we really do love this game, and, we do it for our coach. Coach A's, he's been through a lot, so everything we do, game, practice, film, we're doing it for him because he deserves it the most. So,
That last possession, they're able to march the ball down the field, and I think all of us are kind of thinking overtime at that point. It was ups and downs. What were they doing to give you fits on those last couple possessions there?
They were just moving the ball. They had some great plays. They executed some plays, and, some plays that we should be able to break up, like the passes, the 2 deep balls. We should be there and be able to make that play. But, all kudos to them. Like, they had some great plays, and they executed really well during that 2-minute situation.
Guys obviously down a bunch of guys on both sides of the ball, and you guys just keep fighting. And you talked about your love of your coach and your love for each other. I'm curious, what was that locker room like?
Shoot, it was awesome. Coach A talked to us a little bit, and just the way he talks and, how much heart and love that he pours into this team and this program, it's awesome to see, it reflect on us. Like I said, us playing for him and playing for each other and not for ourselves. So the locker room was awesome. They're probably in there getting lit, getting turned. But, man, it was a great feeling, coming off, a hard loss last week. This was a much-needed win and an earned win. So,
well, let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about halftime, because you get that late touchdown to Kobe Bowman, and that cuts the lead to 10. So it feels like you got a little bit of momentum. But what was the message in that halftime locker room?
We just the same message it's been every game. We just got to go out there and keep playing and keep fighting, no matter what the score is, because It's bad, but, we're kind of a second-half team. We're trying to work on it, but we know that we can, bump up the energy a little bit in the second half, and, we did that, and we just got to keep doing it. So,
you guys were on the field for almost 40 minutes, 38-29 time of possession and 78 snaps. I got to imagine that everybody in that locker room was just gassed, but so exhilarated to get out of here with a W. And what kind of confidence can this give you now leading into next week in the conference season?
Huge confidence. This was a much-needed win, So Colorado State next week, it's a great team. We got a great opponent, so we're just gonna, get home, watch some film, and we'll see what happens. But I think we this win was much needed, and it'll help us definitely have some momentum going into conference play.
Well, I also think too that this feels a little bit like the Air Force game did last year, where kind of the season was on the brink. You guys salvaged it last year with that Air Force. Is it safe to say this game kind of has that same feel to it?
Yeah, so all week we preached that we can either go right or left, and, we chose the right today, so hopefully we can keep building off that, because you hit the spot. It's just like that. We're either going to tank or, we're going to keep going, so it was a much-needed dub.
Hey, 5 block kicks. Now, where did this knack for actually getting in and blocking a kick come from? Obviously, it's a lot of hard work, but you got something going on there. How does that work for you?
Shoot, first of all, I just want to thank my dad, backyard. Every day since I was super young, just practicing everything about football. But I think where my instincts kick in is I just got to feel for the ball. I got to feel for the game a little bit more than the regular person. So when the time comes, I feel like I can make big plays in those moments. So it's really just preparation, but also having the confidence and me knowing that I can get the job done.
Hey, I want to back up a little bit. I can't remember what game it was where you got flagged for the hurdle, which I think they misinterpreted what actually happened. You actually did do a little hurdle to get into that spot for this block kick today. So what's the rule interpretation there, and what were you able to do to make sure that one was able to slide by?
Honestly, I'm not even 100% sure. They said they said it was leveraging during the Iowa game, so it's kind of we haven't really talked about it just because it's over with now. So
yeah,
just we use really the same technique, for every block. So we're not sure why I got called on that one, but. Yeah, it's just the same technique. Just it's called a jump-through technique. So, it works. So I guess it depends on the ref that we have the game. So.
Well, let's go. Everybody, go get some crisp meat burritos and some Mexi Tots and celebrate with Ike Larson. Right?
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Taco time, baby.
Thanks, Ike. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
There he is, Ike Larson. Hero of the game tonight. Utah State gets it done, 35-34.
Not sure everybody knows what that means, but
hey, get that NIL money.
Go get that NIL. What a play! 40 seconds to go. UConn scores, brings out the kicking unit to tie this game at 34. The jump technique through the line blocks the extra point. The Aggies get out of Dodge with a 1-point win, and he ends up with 6 tackles, 1 pass breakup. And nothing bigger than that block kick to seal this win.
This post-game show brought to you by Bruce Jones, your local Farm Bureau agent. Call Bruce right now, 435-752-3233 today. It's your future. Let's protect it. By the way, I apologize to one of my favorite people. We've talked to him last year, your local tax pro, Aaron Taylor. That block kick was brought to you by H&R Block and your local tax pro, Aaron Taylor. For all your tax needs, reach out to Aaron Taylor right now. He's an Aggie. He is, nobody else is more fired up than he is on today's win. So, again, big thanks to Aaron Taylor. Siegfried and Jensen serving the Utah community for over 30 years and have won over $1.2 billion for their clients. I want to thank Siegfried and Jensen for their tremendous support of Utah State Aggies and the people of Utah. Big win tonight. Utah State gets it done. Final in this one, 35-34. And joining us now, the head coach of the Utah State Aggies. Coach, you can win games in all different types of ways, and this one is no exception. Talk about the Lagoon doesn't have roller coasters that can quite figure out what this game was like today. How are you holding up down there?
I'm exhausted, dude. I'm holding up. I'm exhausted. That's a lot. Super proud of the guys. You know, it's the same. Apparently, that's just the only way we can play a game is just, dig a hole and fight our way back. But you got to give them credit, man. They just don't quit. This group will not quit. They love each other. They're proud to work together and fighting for each other. And found a way to make some plays.
Coach, they're fighting for you, too. I could see at the midfield at the end of the game how many of your kids came to give you and Brittany and your family a hug. A tough time for you and family. It's just so important to see those kids rallied around their coach.
It's a great group of dudes. And as you guys have heard and I've told you, I love our locker room. I love our kids. And I've been wanting them to have some success because they deserve it. Now, they've worked hard and been extremely just compassionate and selfless in every aspect. They know this has been, we're struggling, and we've been through a lot. And, the feature that ESPN did this morning, we knew that was coming. We knew it was something that was going to air at some point. And, that's kind of laying yourself out there being vulnerable. They understand just how our life is every day. And, man, they give back so much. I lean on them way more than I should have to, or way more than they should have to handle. But, man, it's just a great group of kids.
Coach, you're a special teams phenom, and you design a lot of these block kicks that these guys have been able to connect on so many times over the last few years. Ike said you were kind of laying in wait on that extra point kick. You knew that right side had some issues. Kind of walk us through what you saw and how that thing was designed. And obviously Ike executed it. The whole team executed. I don't want to just single out Ike, but the whole team executed it beautifully.
Yeah. Well, number one, everybody did their job really, really well, and you gotta give them credit too, man. It's demoralizing to have them go down the length of the field and score the way they did. A lot of teams would take that play off, and our guys didn't. You got to give them a tremendous amount of credit for just locking in and executing. I got nothing to do with field goal block. I'll be truthful.
Okay.
They share ideas with. That is our special team staff, Nick Primsky and Bobby Dodd and our defensive staff. They did feel really good about our ability to get there. Thought that if it came down to a field goal that we had a reasonable chance to get to the ball, and they executed really, really well. I was thinking about what play I was going to call, to be honest with you, if find a way to go down to get a field goal. So don't give me any credit other than hiring really good people and getting out of their way and letting them do their job.
Hey, down 17-0. Probably one of the biggest sequences in this game is the two-play 75-yard drive right before the half that gets you back to a 10-point game. Talk about that series.
Yeah, we felt like they were just bailing out on us a little bit, so we went to the quarterback draw to kind of get things sparked. We had a little bit of a tendency on them to try to go to the coverage they went to after the first down. We had that play, planned all week long against that coverage, and even though we had struggled to execute earlier in the game, right there, everybody did their job really, really well. We basically pulled the safety out of the middle field and double moved them down to the middle. And, I'm expecting explosive, absolute bonus to get it in the end zone and kind of sparked us, It's one of those things that sometimes it just takes one play. And I thought the light went on and guys took a deep breath and like, wow, man, we can do this. And it wasn't easy at any point in the second half, but we chipped away, and kind of got back into a rhythm that we were struggling to get into, as you could tell, early.
It would have been really easy for Cooper Legas just to check out of the season and just go through the motions and say he's ready, but not really truly be ready. But he goes 11 of 13, throws 3 touchdowns. He handles adversity well. He comes in when you need him, and kid played a heck of a game tonight.
He really did. It doesn't surprise me that he did. He has prepared as well as you could possibly expect a guy in his situation, in his circumstance. From the second that we made the change in Air Force, he was right there on the bench every time I came off, bright-eyed, paying attention, really helping McKay on a daily basis in the meeting. They sit right next to each other. They share ideas and notes the whole time. He's been involved and engaged. His practices have been flawless. He knew, and I told him at some point, you're going to have to be ready, and it just happened to be today, and we needed it. We needed it desperately.
Hey, on a day when Terrell Vaughn has 0 catches, you got Jalen Royals who goes for $185 and 3 touchdowns. It felt a little bit like it did towards the end of the season 2 years ago against DT when Derek Wright and Brandon Bowling started getting rolling. Obviously, they were bracketing Terrell today, but talk about the impact that your other guys are making out there.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be ready to use all of them.
The tuba players.
And we try to stay very, very balanced. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you. That was classy. That's really classy. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. That's very classy. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. You got a great
about 18 tuba players that just want to wreak havoc on the post-game interview.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, homeboy's just staying right there. Come on, buddy. Let's move along.
There's some sportsmanship for you. That's good stuff. Sorry, folks, my redhead's about to come out of me right now.
That's all right.
Yeah, they doubled him most of the day. They were traveling the nickel, and I don't blame him, man. The guy's having a phenomenal season. But what we've always talked about in terms of balance is we don't want to be one-dimensional in terms of run-pass, but we also don't want to be one-dimensional in terms of where on the field we're willing to push the ball. And it showed tonight the ability for other guys to step up. I don't care who catches it. When we call concepts and throw game and RPOs, there's typically multiple places on the field that it could get kicked. And that's the part of the quarterback is to see how they're laying out the defense and go where he needs to. And that's when we do that effectively, you become very difficult to defend. If you're focused on one guy all the time and it's got to go there, then at some point that's not going to work. So I'm proud of the fact. I hate it for Terrell because the dude works so hard, but he's the first one in there, hugging dudes up and high-fiving when his partners get in the end zone or make a big play. So that selfless attitude, like, I'll do whatever you need me to do. Tonight was his night to pull coverage and other guys make plays.
I know it's still early in the process, but any early indication on what McKay's dealing with?
Well, he don't know what day it is or what state we're in. Probably that would be my guess. He got his bell rung pretty good, and we'll just have to see how that goes. Coop may be right back out there next week. Maybe McKay's ready in a few days, and we'll see. What we won't do is put him out there in harm's way. Want to make sure he's completely ready, make sure he's completely healthy, and then we'll move forward from there. But he did get his bell rung, and he was not in a position to at any point to go back for sure.
And we didn't talk about it much throughout the course of the week, but you had a couple of young pups on the offensive line, Radford and Anderson and Maui, almost the entire game. And those guys.
Dude, you almost had to play O-line today. What are you talking about? I mean,
I'm ready for you, Coach.
How about that? I mean, that's just – I told you guys we were beat up. It's been a physical stretch. It really hit us on the O-line this past week. Guys tried to play. You got to give them credit, but that's what we had. I mean, we finished that game with Wyatt Bowles playing guard, who was playing tight end 2 weeks ago, Bryce Radford, Maui, who just got here 5 minutes ago. Yeah, I mean, you got to give Coop and that group credit. It was not pretty by any means, but that is a massive defensive front, and we just continue to battle. Guys playing all over the field that nobody thought would be playing when we made this trip.
Coach, celebrate this one. We got a long plane ride back, but this one got a little sweeter. Congratulations on the W.
Yeah, good luck with your Retro Bowl on the way home, man.
Yeah, no, I will, man. Come back and join me if you want to play a few series. We get you taken care of.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, you got it. There he is, Blake Anderson joining us. Utah State gets it done, 35-34. That conversation brought to you by Sports Academy and Racket Club, your results, your life. All right, let's take a quick lead ID. Pause 10 seconds for local stations to identify themselves. You're listening to Aggie Football from Learfield.
The station for Utah State football on News Talk KVNU Logan at 610 AM, 102.1 FM, and online at 610kvnu.com.
All right, for those listening on our flagship station, 97.5, 1280, the KSL Sports Zone, we'll be back to wrap this thing up. For those listening on KVNU in Logan, we'll let you guys wrap up and get you kick off Al Lewis and Aggie postgame show. Aggie call-in coming up next. Utah State gets it done, 35-34. And you heard it all right here on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield.
The game is over. And now KVNU Aggie Game Day continues with Aggie Call, the complete recap on all the action of your Utah State Aggies. We want your comments and questions about today's game. The phone line is 435-753-KVNU. The text line is 435-339-0321. Plus, more interviews and insights are coming as we break down the Aggie action with you and the Aggie Nation. Aggie Game Day is brought to you by Jarek's Fine Jewelry, Les Olson IT, Adams Wealth Advisors, DD Auto and Salvage, LSS Insurance Agency, Cache Valley Ear, Nose and Throat, Cafe Sabor, Beezer Lock and Key, Advanced Heating and Air, The Sportsman. It's KVNU Aggie Call with Al Lewis and Eric Franson.
And today, joined by Chase Nelson, the former Utah State. Did I say Chase again?
What? He's home, though. He's back.
Okay.
He's back, Al.
DJ.
So I can call him real quick.
I said when he walked in the building, I said, there's DJ, and all of a sudden, okay. But we're joined by DJ Nelson. I hope I don't say that again. Although, again, like I said, I like them all. Yeah. So, but and the Aggies 34-33 is the final score, and we'll give you now your show to call in. We had a lot of calls last week. Let's have some more this week, 753-KBNU. And then, of course, outside the Logan area, you can use the 800 number. But the local text line is 339-0321. So I'll let Chase, again, give us our first... I'll let DJ give us our first thought on this football game. I don't know why I want to keep calling you that. But, again, I'll give you first choice. The Aggies, again, are just the kind of team that's got to get down by 3 or 4 scores and then come back and win a game.
Yeah, there's who used to do this? Oh, Cam Newton. They talk about Cam Newton. He said the game wouldn't start until he got popped or something like that, and usually it'd take a drive or two for him. So it seems like we got a team, a bunch of Cam Newtons out there. But overall thoughts from the game. Yeah, I mean, we'll probably address some of the starting issues, but at the same time, I have some thoughts on that, and we'll probably dive into that. But as I was watching, I just am surprised at the continued resilience of this team, and it's a testament to...
You've been around football a long time.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
No, it's not.
In every game to get behind 21-0, 17-0, and come back.
Single week, and it's just like death taxes and a comeback in the second half, right? It's seeming to get that way. So just continue to be impressed by how resilient the team is. The ball bounced our way this week. Last week it didn't bounce our way, and that's kind of how you have to live right now with how young and new we continue to be, with injuries and guys kind of like stepping up with that new or with that next man up mentality. But those are things that, and this is my main takeaway, that win is something you can hang your hat on going into 6, 7, 8 straight weeks of conference play, which is great. Because that same amount of adversity that you're facing in a game like that on the road where you're by yourself, it's going to be just like that on the road in any type of conference environment where you're kind of alone and you have yourself to rely on. So that's something that they can draw on and build upon, and hopefully leads to a lot of good competitive conference games and wins, and when we progress towards a bowl at the end of the year.
Eric Franson across the way. Eric, again, sorry about your mother's passing. You were not here with us last week, and we
thank
do.
You.
Again, our thoughts have been with you and your dad and everybody around your family who, of course, employ us here. And we appreciate, again, what Pat was to us. She was just terrific. And the Aggies, you and I were sitting there watching it. They have nothing going on until Kobe Bowman catches that pass, a wide-open throw, and all of a sudden then we're going, okay, here we go again.
Yeah, it just really seemed like this team needed something to break loose to really get things rolling for them. Again, another bad first quarter for USU. Most of the second quarter really wasn't that great. But they just needed one play to really break things loose and just open their eyes that, yes, we can stretch the field with these guys, and that always seems to be the case. When Utah State starts to go vertical, it seems to open things up for everything else, and they were able to get that going, score going to halftime. They had stopped them before, too, and kind of shut down their defense. Defensively, they shut them down, too. So there was kind of two things working together as Utah State went to that halftime that really gave them confidence going into the second half.
Yep, there was, again, we started to, after, again, getting behind. I mean, the Aggies, right off the bat, Dye intercepted the ball. We have a good field position. We're in UConn, we're in plus territory, and don't go anywhere, have to punt the ball. We down it at the 1 yard line. We stop him, make him punt the ball from the 4, and then all of a sudden Jackson intercepts that pass with Jackson Mitchell with a heck of an interception for UConn. And they start a drive there and have to go 80 yards and use their big defensive tackle to score his first of a couple of touchdowns in the game that he got. They used him as a decoy on another play later on. I mean, we had opportunities to get some things going, and then we started to make some mistakes and all that. And all of a sudden, I mean, Dye had made the interception earlier. He gets burned on the play on the fourth down where they did throw the pass in the end zone when they faked it to the big guy. And we get down 17-0 again in this football game before all of a sudden we turn around and get a 2-play drive. And it was a quarterback draw that kind of got it all started during that whole period of time. And that seemed to be one of the key plays that got us going offensively in this game.
Yeah. Talking about at the end of the half there, and honestly, everyone will point to the slow start. Again, Al, to your point, I don't know that it was as much of a slow start as, funny bounces. Ball got tipped and McKay threw a pick. We were late. McKay's first interception, ball was a little bit inside. Like, he's a freshman quarterback, first start on the road. These are things that you have to live with and going with a guy like that, right? So it's not like we were completely stagnant, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. We started the game okay, but again, when things aren't bouncing our way like that, all it usually takes is one. And it seemed like at the end of the half, in a scenario where conventional wisdom would tell you, hey, don't make chicken salad out of, we all know that phrase, right? But we come out, get a good chunk on that first play, and that's usually what loosens up a coach in the play calling environment right there. Well, let's see what we can get on this first play. We end up getting a good chunk on the draw, and then we're in a spread out environment. They blow a coverage, and then all of a sudden it's a touchdown. And that was the point that I wanted to get to today about our maybe like slow start. Our offense, we operate in so much space, it might require a drive or two at times to learn how the defense is moving. We are so wide to the sidelines, and our spacing is so big. You got to know, and you got to be smart enough to see how are they handling different spaces. If we go to the flats, who's going? If it's the corner, is it the safety that's spinning? How are they handling things over the middle? Are they walling linebackers? Are they carrying things? Or are they just zone dropping? So while I would love to start just as fast as anyone and score 7 points on each drive, let's give Coach Anderson and the offensive staff a little bit of credit that, hey, more often than not, we are finding how they're moving and how they're reacting to us and then exploiting that well into the third and fourth quarter of these games. So, you have your give and take with that. But, yeah, we got started on that one. It looked like just a replace seam with a little corner route, and it was a great play and got us going.
And we got them fouled up in their coverage a little bit there too.
That's what I'm saying.
Play.
So we switch released, and that's kind of where Coach probably saw someone from the booth, and then from there, Coach Anderson
Coach Cephalo upstairs down to Coach Anderson,
and Coach Anderson kind of had their number. The rest, I think we ripped off 5 straight scoring drives after that.
We did, and maybe the play of the game was Royals' one-hand catch on the same play where Hillstead goes out of the game. And we eventually do score there. But there's where Cooper Legas comes in off the bench, a la L.A. Bowl.
Yep, right.
And gets it done for the Aggies today. And again, nobody is happier than I am for Cooper Legas, too. And I hope Hillstead is not hurt badly because he has done a great job in these last couple of games. But and so that's a huge play. But, Eric, you and I, we've been around this valley long enough, and so has DJ. Ike Larson just makes plays. And here we are thinking, okay, I don't want to go to overtime on their field and all this other kind of stuff, and he made sure we didn't.
What an incredible play. Athletic. Interesting hearing him after the game talk about it, that they knew they had something there all game, and they just waited for the right time to use it.
Well, that was the right time.
There was no better time. No better time. I mean, the dude just makes plays. I mean, we kind of quiet defensively. I mean, he was out there trying to do some things, but
fanned on the interception in the end zone when he looked like maybe he had a chance.
Yeah, had an opportunity with a nice pass breakup. but yet not giving up, continuing to fight, continuing to make adjustments. That's the mantra of this team.
Okay. Eric and DJ with me, Al Lewis, today. We appreciate the sponsorships, too, of everybody. We need to mention a few of them. Golden Spike Electric. Don't let Mother Nature spoil your night. You get that Generac backup generator to handle your home and your business needs from Golden Spike Electric that direction. Adams Wealth Advisors. They want to understand your family, your job, your hobbies and goals to earn your long-term financial trust. Visit adamswealthadvisors.com. Aggies win 34-33. Your show for phone calls, 753 KVNU 5868, and the text line is 339-0321. Again, DJ Nelson with us with Eric Franson today on Aggie Call postgame after the Aggies break the 2-game losing streak and win at Connecticut.
Clean it up and get it out this fall.
Don't wait another winter. Let DD Auto and Salvage pay you for that junk vehicle. DD Auto and Salvage makes it so easy and fast to get rid of your junk or vehicles by paying you the most money possible. Pickup is available. If you have metal, DD Auto and Salvage in Logan want to pay you today. Search DD Auto and Salvage today or call 787-1204.
That's 787-1204.
See store for details.
Prodigy Brewing is celebrating fall in the air. Kids are back in school, USU students are on campus, and weekends are for football. At Prodigy Brewing, you'll find something to satisfy everyone's tastes. Juicy burgers, sizzling wood fire pizzas, tasty salads, and a kids menu.
Alrighty, here's your cheeseburger. Enjoy.
Thank you, Cache Valley, for voting Prodigy Brewing the best bar and grill and best craft beer in northern Utah. Beer. Prodigy Brewing on Center Street in downtown Logan. Extraordinary service and family friendly.
S.E. Needham Jewelers is where Utah gets engaged. Couples throughout the state buy their rings from S.E. Needham Jewelers because of our low prices, extensive ring selection, and extraordinary benefits and services with financing available. Go to seneedham.com to learn more. We have many unique and beautiful engagement rings starting at $500. You'll find affordable engagement rings with our integrity price guarantee. This is why we are where Utah gets engaged. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical. I'd like to invite you to learn more about us. Since 1997, we've been Utah's premier one-stop shop for home medical equipment. What sets us apart at Alpine Home Medical is the superior level of customer service. We provide home oxygen, CPAPs, wheelchairs, scooters, breast pumps, and so much more. Come on down and get to know us.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Visit alpinehomemedical.com.
KVNU Game Day continues with Aggie Call. More analysis about today's game and your chance to talk about it. Call 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
DJ Nelson with us, former Aggie special team star who had to love a block kick to win the game, right?
Yeah,
DJ?
Absolutely. That's a coach. When I was playing, Coach Wells used to say the mark of, and this is this is well known throughout kind of the coaching, I guess, community.
Mm-hmm.
But you measure like the effort of a team or how hard a team plays by their field goal block unit, and so. If that's the measurement, we got a really good team.
I think I remember. I think Ike Larson blocked about 13 kicks in high school. I think
it wouldn't surprise me.
It seemed like that was the number that I remember for his career,
Yeah.
and then now it's 5 with the Aggies, and Nimrod did kick 2 field goals that make a difference in a 1-point game today. We did make a few penalties on special teams today that seemed to almost look like they might bother us in this game. But again, just tuning in, 34-33, the final for the Aggies.
Yeah, it was surprising how many penalties on kickoffs, either the returns or whatever. I mean, Utah State had, 6 penalties on the day? UConn had, I think, 8?
9 or 9, yeah.
So... yeah, but just where they came was kind of funny for Utah State. Al and DJ got a couple of texts coming
They're
through.
brought to you this afternoon. Our first texting brought to you by Les Olson IT. The best defense for your network is everything from copiers to outsourced IT services. Again, it's true in business. Defense wins championships. Les Olson IT can help you. Let's get started there.
2444 texting in. Amazing comeback today by the Aggies. I can't believe that Ike keeps blocking kicks the way that he does. I'm interested to hear what you guys think about the quarterback position going forward. If McKay is cleared to play, I think Coop looked much better today and should probably be the starter again. I love Hillstead's potential, but I think his time is next year and beyond. Plus, if he doesn't play in more than one more game this season, he could maintain redshirt status.
Sure. He absolutely can keep that. You're a quarterback at heart in some ways, Mr. Nelson. Legas was a different-looking guy today than he was. Wake-up call, obviously, is what happened to him a little bit with what happened in the Air Force game. Sure. And now look at what he has done going on after, because he's now down to 20% reps in practice. Usually the starter gets about 80, so he's been getting less. But it just looked like it was a little different guy today. And remember, when he just stepped into the LA Bowl when he first got that's where he has really been a star.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And here's the benefit, right, of our quarterback situation is Cooper has a wealth of experience. So you can trust a guy like Cooper to come into a game just like he did today and be able to not only manage the game but help you win that game, right? A lot of the times backup comes in and it's like, okay, well, let's find something that's going to win us the game, and then hopefully, they're good enough to manage. Well, Cooper is we're kind of best case scenario here of having someone like Cooper to back up McKay, to where if something did happen today, and hopefully McKay will be fine. It looked to me like he just got the back of his head hit. He fell really awkwardly on TV, and you never like to see that, but to me it looks like he'll be in concussion protocol. So maybe within the next week or so he might be cleared and back. But you have a guy like Cooper with all that experience coming in. You don't really have to change much on offense, right? You can kind of go back to rely on the things that were working with the guy that was starting. Cooper's good enough to be able to execute that, and he has enough experience. So really great moving forward. And credit to Cooper for being locked in. It's not an easy thing to do. A, to lose your job. B, stay as locked in as you can. And then C, come in and be as sharp as you can, or as sharp as he was.
11 of 13. Passing the ball today.
No, it's incredible. And like I mentioned before, right? Like at that point in the game, I think that we had found kind of their kryptonite on defense. We had spaced them out. We had figured out kind of, all right, well, now we're knowing how they're moving. We know what adjustments that they're making to these sets, this coverage, this formation, and what coverages we want to exploit and attack. So from there is just executing, which was awesome.
And how about our other quarterback, Levi Williams, makes tackles on special teams.
Awesome. Yeah,
if you're not going to play him, he says, "Get me in the game." Yep. You were kind of like that yourself in your days.
I did do that. Yep. So and I even took a page out of my older brother's book. He did that down at BYU and then found his way onto the field as well at a quarterback. But yeah, my junior year did the same thing. Walked right in there and was like, "Hey, put me on some special teams." So
let me play, and that's what Levi's going to do. Play 1 year. I guess for Utah State, finish it up. It doesn't look like maybe. I mean, unless we hope we don't have any more injury problems to have to go that direction. But again, it was terrific to see what he did today too.
I mean, he's a big, fast dude, and so, gosh, put him to use somehow.
What did you say he's going to now serve our country in his plans for the future?
Navy SEALs.
Yeah, going to go be amazing.
How about that?
All right, another text coming through. This is from 5633. For those of us who watched General Conference, it seemed like the Aggies waited until we were paying attention. Great job of next man up mentality from Cooper Legas, Royals, the O-line, and so many others. I love the resiliency, but I hope we can find ways to make it much less necessary.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, and the other thing too. So it should be mentioned they came in with a specific game plan to stop Terrell Vaughn, right? They were bracketing him. They did not want that big play threat to be done, or to beat them. And so again, credit to Royals for stepping up. Cooper coming in. That was awesome to see that you now have development within the offense of like, all right, multiple weapons. We're not just relying on a big play
Got the
threat.
tight end involved a little bit on the play. We threw a screen pass to Booth that was a big play too, a running back out there to screen.
Yeah, it just seemed like we were a little more balanced than just relying on, hey, like when is Vaughn going to break loose so that we can kind of get on the board here. So that it was great to see.
That was really, really good, and that's interesting stuff.
5452 texting in, Ike Larson. That is a text. That's all.
That's all you need to say.
That is all you need to say. And from again, every time I'm on, seems like we talk about Ike and us three haven't watched him grow up. It's funny because he is out there kind of like unconventionally making these plays. Right, he's making a lot of plays on special teams. He'll rip balls out. Sometimes I want to. grab
he sometimes tries to rip too much or
exactly.
say too much.
It comes in a little high.
He's got edgy.
Exactly. But that's the good and the bad, right? That you take with a guy like that, as talented as he is, and the nose for the football that he has, as well as playmaking moments. You live with that, and man, he could not be happier for him and the way that he's helping the team.
Well, you really do. You want the one thing is a guy like that. He wants the moment.
Right.
He wants. He would love to go in and play receiver too, and be able to help the offense. Besides, he'd be a two-way guy, just like the guy Colorado plays and things like that too.
Yeah. 9315 texting in. Dye will make you pay almost to the point of your death. Amazing. How has he came out of nowhere for this team?
Devin Dye had that series last week, the 3 against James Madison, that really, in a lot of ways, turned the game, because then we turned it back offensively after we'd finally had his series there where we got something going. And today he did bite a little bit on the fake to the big fullback inside, and he was chasing. But another guy kind of let the guy release from the line eventually before he was chasing there for the one touchdown.
Yeah,
but he does hit you, and he's making some plays.
No, he's and again, those are the things that you want to see.
And he's not listed as a starter.
No, he's not. So. And those are the things you want to see, right? I remember the last time we were here it was at Iowa, and we kept saying, these guys have only been together for 28 days, right? Like 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. Now, we added another 28 days to that. And we're still, we had the one conference slip up, but now we're getting into conference play, right? So, again, the team begins to materialize, and it only builds more and more confidence that you can go into an environment like that. Albeit it's not loud, it's not hostile, it's still UConn, but it's 2,000 miles of travel. It's a very long plane.
Raining and 50 degrees when the game starts.
And then you pull out a victory when, let's call a spade, we are physically overmatched up front, and we still are able to find ways to win this game. That's the stuff that kind of week one when we were on the show, and I was like, hey, let's just let things materialize here and see what we have. So guys like Dye and Ike and Royals are now coming out of the woodwork and helping us make plays and win games.
Alpine Home Medical is one of our sponsors of Aggie Game Day, post-game and pre-game. What sets them apart is superior levels of quality service for CPAP supplies, lift chairs, oxygen supplies. Alpine Home Medical. AlpineHomeMedical.com, or their local number is 774-4500. Game day is on. Aggies 34-33. Pull it out. UConn scores with 40 seconds to play after the Aggies had a chance maybe to get a 2-score lead and had to settle for a field goal to make it, again, 34-27 with 5:20 to go. Got him off the field once, couldn't run the clock out, had to punt it back to him, only got it down to the 15. They had 60 yards on 2 plays in that series, got him to the goal line, and eventually then they run the big defensive tackle, again, into the line from 1 yard out, and then they go for the single to get the game to overtime, and the Aggies don't let him do that with Ike Larson's block kick. 34-33 if you did not tune in and listen in or watch it. And we'll be back with more, where our text line's available again at 339-0321. And the local phone number, 753-KVN. You'd love to have you with us on postgame. Again, we are on with DJ Nelson and Eric Franson, and I'm Al Lewis, and we'll be right back.
We are pleased to introduce the new Liberty Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Montpelier. For generations, we have served the local community, and we've been so thrilled to be your choice for new and used vehicles. Well, our community is changing, growing, and expanding, and we're right here growing with you. We are so proud to serve the people of Idaho, Wyoming, and Utah. We're the new Liberty Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Montpelier with warranty forever. Come and see us.
Not everyone has been in an accident, but everyone knows someone who has. If you or a loved one has been hurt in a car, truck, motorcycle, cycling, or pedestrian accident, call the Advocates today, now with offices in Cache Valley. The Advocates offer free consultations. Talk with an experienced attorney and let an advocate guide you through your case and take over the stress of phone calls with the insurance company so you can rest and get better. You didn't deserve to be in an accident, but you do deserve an advocate. Chat online at utahadvocates.com or call 801-355-5550.
Nearly 21 years ago, Cafe Sabor opened their doors at historic Logan train station. With the help of hundreds of amazing employees and patronage of thousands of wonderful customers, Cafe Sabor is proud to have been voted 3 years in a row Cache Valley's favorite Mexican restaurant in the Best of Northern Utah contest. Follow Cafe Sabor on social media for giveaways and promotions. Search Cafe Sabor for a restaurant near you. Thank you, Cache Valley, from your friends at Cafe Sabor.
Life is hard, so making sure you find that perfect woman is important. You need someone that will be by your side through the good and the bad. Once you have found her, show her that she is special with a beautiful diamond ring from Jerix. Yes, it is all about the romance. At Jerix, you won't find a more intimate setting. Where you purchase the ring might not be as important as who you choose to marry, but it's pretty close.
Jerix fine jewelry. Make it special, make it Jerix.
Aggie Sports coverage is sponsored in part by LSS Insurance Agency, your local Medicare and Social Security experts on News Talk KVNU, where Utah State is always number one.
I do have to revisit my Beezer Lock and Key lock of the game that I talked about post-game. And again, I was pointing out the fact that I thought it was absolutely a lock that Utah State would probably come out and do something in the first quarter. I thought it was more of a deal where I thought our defense really had to do a job to stop any kind of running attack. They had a 190-yard rusher against us last year, and I really thought we had to do something. We did not do a great job with the rushing defense today. They had 218 yards. We did stop one short yardage situation on them that was really big in this game. When you go back and look at some of those things, they thought they were going to momentum and use the their short yardage deal, and they didn't bring the big guy in that one. They went fast to the line, and we stopped the quarterback on that play, and that was turned out to probably take a lot of momentum away from them in this football game the way it was going.
Yeah, I think they finally figured out that you can't give them third and short, fourth and short, because they're going to go with big, heavy, and get it. Their grizzly package, as they called it. So, getting them a little bit off target, a little off schedule earlier on in those earlier downs made a really big difference in the game for Utah State. So, hats off. I know we're talking a little bit more on the offense, but I think we have to give credit to the defense, too, for the run defense struggled, certainly at certain times in this course of this game, but they started to dial it in a little bit better to get UConn off the field as the game progressed.
Because
certain stretches.
That quarterback sneak was on fourth down, them up 14-0.
Yeah, it's in the red zone.
In the red zone.
It not only did it shift momentum, but it saved points.
Saved it all, but they didn't even get any three or anything out of that. Hillstead scrambled for a first down. Royals caught a screen pass for 24. We got sacked, and then Royals made the catch. We eventually did have to punt the ball away there, but we at least kept them off the scoreboard. And then the next time they had the ball, let's see, I got to look. They got the field goal to make it 17-0 instead of. So they had to work for a long time.
We won the game by one.
Yep, and get something off. So Beezer Lock and Key, where they replace all door hardware, including locking and latching systems, panic hardware, all that available. It's Beezer Lock and Key, one of our sponsors of Aggie Game Day. 34-33 Aggies. They get their second win of the year. UConn now 0-5. Do you think Coach Mora right now is thinking maybe I should have just gone for two at the end of the game?
No.
I bet most of the coaches would not on our home field do that, right?
Yep. Go for two on the road. Go for the tie at home. You don't want fans.
But I bet there's a lot of people saying, why didn't he go for two instead of trying to just kick the 1 point?
And you can't win with fans like that or whatever, right? No, it was you kicked that thing 10 times out of 10.
Okay.
A little frustrating though for Utah State and their final two offensive drives going conservative. We're just going to run the ball into the middle of a pile of bodies. I get the idea of trying to chew clock and play from ahead, but there's a difference, I think, from playing ahead, from a position of being ahead, and versus just playing not to lose. And it felt like they were just playing not to lose.
Yeah, and so there's a couple schools of thought with that, right? Like, so to your point, they ran for 218 yards, right? What did they throw for?
258.
258. Okay.
Most of their big pass plays, the 258 were on big plays. Yeah,
and were late, right? So up to that point in the game, it was pretty obvious that UConn was going to try to run the ball, didn't really trust their pass, whatever type of passing game that they had tried up to that point. So if you're a coach, right, and I put myself in Coach Anderson's shoes, and it's like, okay, well, they can't really gain separation from us. Like, let's just see, let's try to force their hand and make them do something that's not natural late in the game and be clutch. Hats off to them. They were right.
Guy caught the ball. They had two receivers in the same place. I mean, they had to almost have a foul up situation on that too.
So to your point, where it's like, like playing not to lose. I won't go that far. Again, you're dealing with a backup
albeit Cooper has experience, but he didn't prepare like the starter. So there may be play calls in those situations where, had McKay been in, we're more comfortable doing because he's repped them more and more and more. So at the end, you never want to sacrifice points in that situation. Now, all that to say, right, I don't know, I wasn't on the sidelines. A lot of times a coach will kick the field goal, turn around to his defense and fire him up and be like, go win us the game. Or it could be like, I don't know about my offense. Now I'm kicking. I don't know.
And he did because they went out and sacked him at the 1 yard line.
Yeah, right. And then we got the stop, right?
Yeah.
So you'd like to be more aggressive, but at the same time, ball gets tipped, which had already happened 2 or 3 times in the game. We lost we got a pick on like the second drive over something similar like that. So
off the hands of Bowman, who later caught the 63-yard. Yeah.
So easy to say, like, we're playing conservative there. I know. Again, I'm sure people would like to hear that in my house, watching with my dad, if you know him. He was saying that. Why are we?
We were all screaming.
Like, hey man, it's not that easy. It's not that complicated, or it's not that not as easy as just to be aggressive there, right? So, Coach Anderson knows the game. He's obviously in kind of like game flow at that moment, and felt like he made the best decision for the team, which it ended up working out luckily.
Couple texts coming through.
Yep, let's get some more.
6543. Nice win. Still doesn't give me a warm fuzzy watching the Aggies struggle against a 106th ranked FBS school.
Again, the UConn is one of, I think, only 4 teams or 5 that are FBS who hadn't won a game going into today, I think.
Ags will be competitive against most of the rest of the schedule since 8 of the Mountain West teams are ranked in the bottom third of the FBS rankings.
It's not a real, let's face it, it's not, right now, doesn't look like a real strong year for the Mountain West Conference.
No.
For teams.
Bottom half certainly struggling. It says, what happens against Fresno and Boise? Luckily, we don't play Wyoming this year. This is a key win for being bowl eligible.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because now, Colorado State, again, a team that has struggled the last couple of years, or at least, it struggled last year for sure. They played Colorado pretty well. They're playing Utah Tech tonight at home. They'll be the only team that hasn't played a conference game at the end of tonight. That'll be their first conference game next week. We're right now at 0-1 with some other teams in the league, but there's 4 conference games still coming up today involving our league and all. But, we needed this one because there's some that you're thinking, okay, we can maybe knock those off and get to 6-6, and maybe there's enough spots that we can get a spot in a bowl game at that point.
Yeah, but to get to be bowl eligible, this was a must win.
Absolutely.
Because the opportunities for wins become a lot harder.
I think that's
after
absolutely.
This. Let's see, 4388 texting in. Seems like UConn wisely picked on our undersized D-line with all the short runs of their D-lineman, Jelani Stafford. How might Utah State address this for future games?
Yeah, picked on the D-line. That's interesting. They just ran it. It wasn't like it's not like they. I think So to your point, I don't know outside of maybe some experimental surgeries to get people bigger, how to address those things. But no, they're huge. They're just massive up front, and they were last year, and they are again this year.
A guy was third-team All-American as their right guard.
Yeah, so I mean that's what they hang their hat on. That's they're like cowbell. That's their calling card of like, hey, we're just going to run the ball down your throat. So I don't know that we play any other teams that will be as big as them. But to that point, we didn't. It certainly didn't seem like we wanted to get outmatched. Like we were fighting them. It's not like we just laid down and let them road grade us, but. I am a big defender, I guess, of our box players on defense. I think they play hard. I think they are very assignment sound.
Boy, we need MJ Tafisi.
And Tafisi coming back and getting more and more will help us. And we move Switzer down into the box. Like I think rolling into Mountain West play, I like the way that our defense plays and swarms and gets after it.
Switzer's another playmaker. He's another guy who finds a spot to do something.
Yep.
In
3 tackles for loss.
And he's a great tackler in space too, which is great to have in the box because a lot of the times you may get schemed up to where that backside linebacker is by himself.
It just comes to my mind. So many times I talk to people, though, why doesn't Utah State try to get at least a bigger type running back to use in a spot like that? I mean, I don't know if a guy who's 235 is better to use on short yardage. We actually went under center today.
Yeah.
We haven't gone under center for a long time to run. We ran the quarterback sneak there that didn't pay
absolutely.
off.
Well, so stuff like that, like size doesn't always mean like that
maybe size coupled with, a scheme here or there. Our identity right now is not such that we're going to use space to get vertical, right? So,
but when you need to gain a
when
yard
you need
or
1 yard,
two,
right?
yes.
If you can't get that yard, then all those questions come up of like, hey, we need this, we need a guy here or there. Maybe they have a guy who's young. I don't know. They don't want to throw, but I think both between Booth, Briggs, and Faison, Russell Faison, those guys, I'm comfortable going and getting a tough yard. Now,
Booth did, Briggs did on the one run.
Yeah, and is it going to be versus a 6-man front? No, and if we try to run into a 6-man D-line front every single time on 3rd and 1, shame on us, right? Like, we should be smarter enough to be able to attack a weakness even when we need a yard. We can find one.
Our postgame brought to you by Riverwoods Conference Center, the most versatile event center around for all your activities. Remember, Elements Restaurant down there. Anything else in the text line right now?
Yeah, got a couple of other texts coming through, 9315. How do we cut back on our quarterbacks getting sacked?
And today, let's face it, we ended up.
We had a lot of younger guys, guys on the offensive line.
I think they only had one official sack in the game. Now, obviously, gets hit, and Hillstead is hit on that Grady big play. But, we played most of this game, by my look, at second-team offensive linemen because of injuries, it sounds like.
Yep.
And I talked to Poulet earlier this week, the starting center. I mean, he acted like he was going to play when I talked to him on Tuesday, and I don't think he played much today in the game.
No.
Credited for 1 sack, only 3 tackles for loss for UConn defense.
UConn was. Yeah, there you go. So, and unfortunately what happened was McKay came out on a quarterback hit, right? Like, and that's something you have to live with as part of the game. But if you're talking conventional football wisdom, so ways to help your quarterback out, maybe draw, screen game, adding another protection, all things that I saw us do, right? Like sometimes the tight end would stay in. We got a little QB draw game going. We do screens to the perimeter, but maybe Coach has this in the playbook or not. But
shovel
like tunnel
pass.
Screens, there was a shovel pass, right?
There.
Like it's sometimes you just have to live with the fact that like the other team has scholarship players too, and you're gonna get hit and you're gonna get sacked, right? Like I didn't see anything out there that I really, with the limited line that we had, that I'd think like Mayday, we got to figure this out right now. I thought we played a really clean game up front, if I'm being honest.
And again, they'd been playing, they thought they played 7 or 8 guys against James Madison. I think they were glad they did today, because really the game ended with Knapp and Bowles and Maui and Radford and Anderson as our front group, and they're all listed as second-team guys.
No, I mean, and last week it was a little bit more of like a pressing, like, okay, we got to figure something out, right? And it was a chaotic game, and we're making all these comebacks, but opponents change week to week, scheme changes week to week. I thought today we played really well.
Hey, Colorado State really did put a lot of pressure on Colorado in that game the other night when they played. So you got to be ready, because they really came after Sanders in that game and hit him a lot and hit them a lot too.
Yeah. 6021. Why don't we get Halle or another lineman to play like Nick Vigil on those short yardage downs?
The mini fridge package, right? We did. Little mini fridge package. Yeah. I mean, maybe we should. Maybe, I don't know. I know Holly probably plays rugby. He was a freshman when I was a senior. I never watched his ball skills. If he can prove me wrong, then great. But right now, I don't know. He's got to prove something to us.
I'm sure there's every single defensive lineman is now saying, "Coach, let me be like Stafford in that game today." And then they even passed to him.
Well, I was going to say that guy is a phenomenal athlete. Maybe even like when he was a kid, probably played running back. He's a phenomenal athlete.
And he's now 300 pounds, and still you could tell he's pretty dang athletic too. And they bounced off we stopped him at the goal line, and he slides off in the second effort, and then Ike's the only guy there that has a chance to stop him.
And then the third and one too. There was a nice little touch pass over. He caught it over his shoulder, late hands. It was great.
Good looking. But the Aggies are the good looking team at the end, because they win 34-33 and have swept the series with Connecticut. And we're brought to you by Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat. Hey, headaches and migraines can have debilitating effects on your daily performance, and Cache Valley's ENT can relieve your pain. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for more details. Game day continues. Aggies win by 1. Love to have you call 753-KVNU, or the text line is available. Again, that's 435-339-0321 on postgame. Aggie call continues. And we have DJ Nelson along with Eric Franson, and I'm Al Lewis here.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. My brother Travis and I opened our first store here in Logan in 2010 by Big 5 Sports. Recently, we opened our second location by Red Balloon Toys. We carry the world's best beds, IntelliBed Purple, Tempur-Pedic, and Sealy Posturepedic. And yes, we are the ones that tease Lewiston once in a while. We're 6th generation Cache Valley family, and chances are that you or your neighbor have bought a bed from us, and we value that more than anything. Come into the North or South My Mattress today and sleep better tonight. Isn't it time to sleep exceptionally?
Nothing better than a great song from 1976. Hi, this is Bob Larson with LSS Insurance, and I'm talking to you, graduating class of 76. Even if you're still working or getting ready to retire, Medicare is a conversation we need to have. Let us help you understand Medicare and all your options. Don't rely on TV ads or annoying phone calls. Having a local agent makes all the difference. Call LSS at 752-9493. Call 752-9493.
Make it 3 years in a row. Advanced Heating and AC is honored to be named gold medalist for the best of Northern Utah in the AC HVAC category. They thank you for your support and vote of confidence in their company. You have many choices when it comes to your home's heating and air conditioning system. Make sure you choose the gold medal winning company, Advanced Heating and AC. Call 752-7272 or stop by their showroom west of DI. Online at advancedheating-ac.com.
Aggie sports coverage is sponsored in part by Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special. Make it Jarek's. On News Talk KVNU, where our true colors have always been Aggie blue and white. The Aggies are always #1 here. It's KVNU Game Day with the voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis, Eric Frenson, and Ryan Bohm.
And we are really appreciative of DJ Nelson filling in. Ryan had a championship football game that he was coaching, I think, today for his kids, is what he said. And you know Ryan.
Yeah, yep.
Both you guys, Logan High guys. And you said you're coaching. You said you were coaching last night.
Yeah, I coach at Pleasant Grove High School down there in Utah County. And last night we had our first loss of the season against American Fork, a little crosstown rival. Ended up battling, but came away with a tough loss. But
that's your first loss this deep into the season. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
We have Skyview, who's still undefeated here in our region, 21-7. With their win over Green Canyon, Ridgeline 52, Logan 14, Mountain Crest 38, Bear River 27. So you got both Mountain Crest and Ridgeline have one region defeat, and Skyview has not lost in the region with one more game to go in a short region.
Some teams
schedule.
have two more games.
Well, some will play UEA games.
Yeah,
but in region play,
for region play, yeah,
just one more game to go for the high schools. Utah last night. Did you watch any of the Utah-Oregon State game?
I was coaching, no.
Yeah, that's true. Oregon State scored. I told Eric. Oregon State went down the field and scored 7-0 to start the game, and I could just tell that was going to be it. It ended up 21-7, but it just never felt like Utah offensively could get things going. Their defense is good, but they just have a lot of injuries.
They're so banged up. It's remarkable.
And then BYU was just like our game. They did nothing in the first half against Cincinnati and threw a touchdown, went down the field with 2 or 3 throws right at the end of the first half, and then they got it going in the second half to get a couple touchdown lead and eventually held on and won by a touchdown over Cincinnati last night in their game.
I guess Utah's operating on a backup quarterback because Cam Rising's not available yet.
And
but I guess he got hit
yeah,
and had to be taken to the hospital. But has been released and he's making his way back to Utah today.
Oh, okay. So
not good.
They'd actually brought in the other kid, the Barnes, again last night, who was there. Kind of played the first game, and then the Johnson guy, and they brought the Johnson guy back into the game after he wasn't getting anything done last night, so they had to do that in their game. But Utah State, 34-33, most important deal. They got it done in this game. The Stars, Royals is a guy who runs 4.3 in the Aggies camp
as well.
And I'll tell you what, that one-hand catch he made, and the big plays, that's great to have a guy like him. I think we've already mentioned some of the other guys I had written down here, but Royals, we need to talk a little bit more about
Phenomenal game.
No, and like we mentioned, right? So UConn was very explicitly trying to stop Terrell Vaughn.
Yep.
And to have a guy be able to step up like that, I mean, yeah, he was burning on that one little side screen. The guy took a bad angle and made him pay, and that's what you love to see, right? That's the type of speed.
Hey, Brock Lane made a good block,
and he did a great job. But that's the type of stuff where this offense, if you remember 2 years ago, we had Tompkins and Bowling and Derek Wright, like those guys. When you can get these guys in space, when you spread teams out the way that we do, and we can operate in space and do it efficiently, that's why we score 5 straight times. It maybe just takes a little bit to figure that out, and we'd love to jump and have
that play to Royals happened on the first drive. I'm sure us as fans would love that. But to be able to have guys like that coming out of the woodwork going into conference again, maybe I sound like a broken record, but that is just so critical at this stage that it's on film. He can make a play. We have Vaughns, we have Royals, we have our three-headed monster at a running back. That's what teams are going to have to prepare for now. And so if they take one away, we know we have an answer.
Got another text coming through. This is from 8826. Team is Jekyll and Hyde. Any way to stabilize the player turnover?
From an injury perspective?
I think, and I guess it's just, I don't know if I'd say it just, I don't know. They always seem to need one thing to happen in the game to kind of start it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And I know the coach all week long had heard about it enough after the James Madison game that they did everything to think about their warm-up and about their preparation and their practice and all those kind of things probably got considered by. But he did say, because a lot of people were saying last week on the text, they said, well, go in with a plan. Coach said our plan's scripted and things like that. But again, when you run our kind of offense, there are variables that you start to look at besides just being able to run, like the 49ers used to do, the 15 scripted plays at the start of the game.
Yeah.
You don't run an offense like that.
Yeah, well, and then the other thing, too, is like the other team, they watch film, they know, like they see what we do, right? So it's all a game of chess right there. And yes, you would love to continue to, but again, if you look at this game, we got the pick. Then we're marching and then we throw one. Like, these are unfortunate. It's not like we just went 3 and out. Oh no, we're down 14-0, right? Like there's turnover, like there's games. It's all part of. It's why we watch. It's why it's such a fun sport. It's why it's the greatest team sport in the world, because you can't just say we need to start fast and that's the end of the game.
Yeah,
right?
because here's to tell you, Dye intercepts on the first series for them. And then we start up. Remember, second down play, Lane dropped the pass that probably would have been a first down to move the ball from the UConn 48 deeper down the field. Then Booth makes a short catch, and we have to punt. We down it at the 1 yard line, like I said. Then we turn around, and Dye makes that play at the goal line on a toss fly sweep that he kind of makes the individual play to stop them where they have to punt. And then we start at the UConn 34 and throw an interception. Yeah. On the pass that was behind is what I wrote the receiver.
But there'd be if I told you hey, the UConn's second drive started from the 1, that means good things happened. That means that we started the game well, right? You told me that.
Absolutely right. And so I just was adding this up. We are now against FBS teams, not taking the Idaho State game into account. Our first quarter, we've given up 732 yards. We have 19.
Wow.
Up until now.
First quarter yards?
First quarter yards against FBS teams. That's taking out the Idaho State game. And if you talk about FBS teams scoring-wise, we're now down 60-0 in the first quarter. Wow. It's overall what goes to 67-7 because Idaho State was 7-7 after one quarter. Right. So, I mean, it's a little bit concerning that you always have to come from behind. But, hey, these guys, Coach Anderson now has 19 wins at Utah State as a coach. I think it's 13 now that have been comeback wins.
Well, and again, it'd be one thing if we were reading off those metrics and nothing had changed, right? But from kind of like we've talked about, the game changed, and the game changes and things like if we were just consistently going, run, pass, punt, for the entire first quarter, but we're not. So we maybe are a little bit snake bitten early on in games, and certainly the more you talk about it, the more you start to believe that. So, if I were Aggie fans, I wouldn't bring it up. I wouldn't ask Coach. I wouldn't even make it a thing in the locker room. And just all we're focused on is executing.
And maybe the decision this week is they maybe didn't make it a thing in the locker room.
And let's not make it a thing this week and see what happens.
Well, let's highlight this is a team that's really good at making adjustments.
Exactly. There we go.
Yeah.
Spin zone.
Yeah.
They do it in politics all the time.
That's right. 8968 with the text. It didn't look like UConn had that much depth and just plain ran out of gas. They were big and it was good that the Aggies finally won.
Well, and that's one thing Coach Anderson has said is he feels like against the bigger teams, we have been a little bit better at the end of the games because we are more conditioned and more in shape. And that's what with Paul Jackson, I don't know how we've been able to keep him in some ways.
He's great. He's
be
great.
At Utah State.
No, but that's what you hang your hat on, right? Again, our style of play, both offensively and defensively, is that there's two ways to wear you down. We can either out-physical you, or we're going to be in better cardio shape, right? And so you're playing that battle the entire game. So
can eventually outrun you or out-quick you or things like that.
Yeah, no, and I agree. That's kind of how Utah State's built. So they are built to be a better second-half team than a first-half team.
Yes,
based
they
on their
absolutely
style.
are.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing too. Like, are we built to throw a D lineman in there? No, we're not. We're not built to do that. We go 6-7 deep maybe on the offensive line. A team like UConn probably goes 8 or 9 deep on the offensive line. So yeah, they can throw a 6 offensive line guy in there, bring in a dude, and
they
run
were
trap,
using an extra deep offensive lineman quite a bit in the game.
We're just not built that way. We're built the way to get people in space, get one-on-one matchups, and it ended up working. It worked for us fantastically, and we won the game.
Somewhere along the ways we find big plays, and that's all. Let's take a break here, brought to you by the injury attorneys, the Advocates. You deserve an advocate if you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault. And remember, it's UtahAdvocates.com. They now do have a Logan office. You can still call the 801-355-5550 number. And coming up this next month, Jarek's Fine Jewelry sponsoring and having their 15th anniversary going on. Remember, come engagement ring or anniversary ring shopping. Just go shopping for that, and they'll buy you a sweet treat out front at Yum Berry, 960 North Main. They're sponsors of Game Day. Aggies win by 1 at UConn today in the rain. Eventually, it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was raining almost more pregame than before the game. They had 8 inches back in that area yesterday. We'll be back with more after this, and love to have you join with us at 753-KVNU, or the text line is 339-0321.
This is Jay from Daryl's Appliance. Scratch and Dent appliances are a great way to save big money on nearly perfect machines. Is your washer out of service? We just got a surplus of Scratch and Dent washers, so we are offering an additional 10% off Scratch and Dent laundry appliances until October 7th. Find the coupon on our website, darylsappliance.com. Don't forget Daryl's exclusive 2-year extended warranty free on Scratch and Dent appliances. That's at Daryl's, where service always comes first. Daryl's West on Airport Road.
Fall is here. This is Mark at the Sportsman on Main Street. I invite you into our amazing store to see the new fall collection of amazing clothing, shoes, and outerwear for women and men. We have brands like Cool, Fiore, Fjallraven, and we have brought in some new brands from Europe that you will love. Trust me, you will look truly unique in whatever you buy from the Sportsman. Come in and let us take care of you. You'll be glad you did. For over 75 years, come and see us at the Sportsman on Main in downtown Logan with tons of parking in the back.
Imagine your wedding day. Elegant, simple, yet stunning, stress-free. It's your day. It's all about you. Whether you're looking for small and simple or have a grander idea, the Riverwoods Conference Center will accommodate your every need. Choose the inside ballroom elegance or outside along the natural decor of the beautiful Logan River. A Riverwoods event planner will work personally with you to make sure your event is exactly how you've envisioned it. The Riverwoods Conference Center, where your happily ever after begins. Google Riverwoods Conference Center or call 750-5151.
At Cache Valley Bank, it's their people that make the difference.
Hello, I'm Ivan Cherry, Commercial Loan Officer at Cache Valley Bank. My family and I love this valley and enjoy connecting with its people and communities. I appreciate the opportunities I've had to work closely with local businesses to tailor solutions to meet their financial goals. Come visit me at our Hiram branch or give me a call and let me show you what opening an account with Cache Valley Bank can do for you. We look forward to meeting you. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Utah State Aggie Sports is sponsored by Prodigy Brewing, Logan's family-friendly brew pub. Best of Northern Utah winner on News Talk KVNU.
Utah State a blocked PAT after the UConn Huskies had scored with 40 seconds to play. After Utah State had come back from being down 17-0 to take the lead in the game at 24-17. Then they tied the game in about the first play or second play of the fourth quarter, 24-all. Aggies come right back and get another long touchdown pass to Jalen Royals, who was terrific today. He ended up with 7 catches, 185 yards. First guy since Hunter Sharp to have 3 touchdown catches in a game for Utah State.
No way. What game was that?
It was against, what did we
2015.
It was against Air Force.
Oh, okay, Air Force.
Air Force.
I was going to try to guess. It was either Nevada or Air Force, but Nevada actually took a kick, or Colorado State, Colorado State or Air Force was going to be my guess.
Okay, so.
DJ, I wanted to ask you, kind of circle back on this. Utah State's down 17-0 for much of the first half. Colby Bowman, they connect for that touchdown just shortly before half. From a player perspective, I mean, how much does that change the dynamic? You're still down double digits, but you score going into halftime after being kind of struggling in the first half, but getting that little shot of life before we go into the break.
No, that was the moment of the game, right? Like that was the moment that the game completely changed. I believe we got the ball at half, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So from a player perspective and a coach perspective, you get that on the board, and it's interesting because had we scored on the first drive and then they rattle off 17, I don't know that you go into the half as confident, but you get that quick score. They score 17. Now it's kind of like, all right, now it's our turn to punch back. No, completely changes any type of momentum, any type of confidence, and swings that back into our favor for sure.
I think that's really a good perspective. They scored with 37 seconds left in the first half on the field goal of 36 yards. And we score in 23 seconds on a Hillstead run and then the 63-yard pass play. And then we start the second half, and it's another one of those special teams deal. They kick it out of the end zone, and we get a penalty on the play where we didn't even get a kickoff return.
Yeah.
And so we started the 13-yard line, but we overcame that but that's the series where Hillstead
went down.
Yeah.
Well, but he went down, but at that point...
and the play goes for 46 yards on that play.
46, and I think at that point, again, going back to the confidence thing from right at the half, all right, we found it. We found what can work, what we're going to now play off of that, right? I think that was kind of like a little switch combination to the field that we hit the touchdown on, then we come back into the boundary and get a little one-on-one now because they're not wanting to get burned on the switch combo to the field. So that's the type of thing that I was talking about at the beginning. Hey, maybe it takes a second for Coach Cefalo and Coach Anderson to figure out, all right, what rhythm are we going to find and where we're going to go on these key downs to get chunk plays.
Okay, so.
And then just the other thing, this is a game where your starter and your backup quarterback are your leading running backs. They both had 26 yards today.
Cool.
But it was a struggle for Utah State to establish any kind of a running game today.
Yeah, as it would be with their base. Sorry, did I cut you off?
No,
with their defensive front, I mean, they're massive and huge, and you expect that to be a struggle. Now, there's a couple of different ways probably that I'm sure Coach Anderson and the offensive staff would have maybe liked to establish the run more because everyone loves to do that. It's very controlling. It makes the defense tackle. There's running the ball is still and always will be the answer, right? But if at that point you find yourself down, it's, hey, we just need to manufacture offense in any way possible. And if that's running your QB, getting on the edge, quick screens, whatever it is, to get those consistent 4 to 6 yard gains that usually the run game gives you, you have to do it. So.
And fitting that the one last chance for UConn in the game is an onside kick, and Jalen Royals recovered it.
Awesome.
After his day that he ended up having.
What a day for him.
He just finished it off. Okay, so a couple of things. I didn't see, they talked about it. ESPN ran a feature this morning on Blake Anderson. He coached 1 year where his wife was dying of cancer. His dad died during that period of time. He's had his son, take his life since he's been here at Utah State, and they ran that feature. And I thought one of the great moments I saw on TV today is we're down right there before the half, and they go ahead 17-0, and he's right there with Hillstead on the sidelines, and you could tell he's just talking to him about, okay, let's do this. Just right there, and you can tell after the game was over, it sounds like the players were mobbing the coach and almost giving it to him because of what they saw on TV or what they heard was coming.
Yeah, I believe those were Ike Larson's comments about we play hard, we watch film, we practice because we love Coach Anderson.
Yeah.
So you can tell that this team does love their coach, and we've heard guys who left this team who could have been here this year. They didn't leave because they didn't like the head coach. There were financial opportunities for them to go do something somewhere else. So it's clear that Coach Anderson loves his team, and they're doing a lot to try to win for him and to fight for him.
Well, yeah, you don't. It's pretty obvious, right? You don't get a team that battles as hard as we do and plays so well to the last whistle unless there's an extremely good motivator in that locker room. In this case, a head coach. Maybe for some teams it's not. It's someone else. It's their position. I don't know, right? But it's pretty obvious, right, that Coach Anderson is not only is he a really, really, really good head football coach and can manage games and keep his team together over a season, but he's an excellent motivator. And he does that in real time during games at halftime. Seems to do that during the week, and then that endears, 18 to 22-year-old kids to you, and then they want
And
to
he
go
goes
fight
after
for you,
the
and they do
tuba.
it.
He goes after the tuba players too. When he's being interviewed there post game and they're playing in his ear or trying to.
Yeah, I saw some things from some people who were there. The tuba players came over explicitly to stand right in front of him as he's doing his post game.
Oh.
And it's not a very classy situation.
Well,
for
like
the
he said,
UConn band.
He just mentioned it, and then he went on, and that kind of thing. I think that's really, really good stuff. He is a really good man and has always been very good when we've had a chance to talk, he and I, and different things. And I think everybody in town knows, if you've had a chance to meet him and his wife and all of that, they're really good people. And
yes,
I'm glad he's our coach.
Yep.
We might be able to question sometimes what calls are made or what players are played, but we know he's a good guy.
We could have Mike Shanahan there, and we're all asking why we're running the ball. So Terrell Davis.
That's the way it works, doesn't it? Okay, well, have we got all the texts taken care of?
All the texts are through, yes.
Okay, and we appreciate you joining with us with those, always post-game. Next week, it's a night game again at home for the Michigan State game. Colorado State game.
Same colors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are. I didn't even think about that. I don't know why I even thought Michigan State, but yeah, Colorado State. It'll be coming up, and we will have. We are going to join the afternoon session of the LDS General Conference. They told me in just a moment, but I got one more break I got to get in, and one more final stats for Cache Valley Bank. DJ, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
You doing okay?
Everything's
Everything
great.
good?
Yep.
Okay.
It's great. It's good to be here.
Appreciate
Anytime
it.
you need me.
Yeah, we love to have him. Eric, thank you very much again.
Sure thing.
Wishes with the family this week. I know there's a
Thank
funeral
you.
coming up this week and
Appreciate
all of
that.
that. So, and thank you all you Aggie fans. And we'll take one final break and we'll be back. I'll do the final stats for Cache Valley Bank, and then we'll get to that afternoon session of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Conference. Do you have a fireplace or stove that isn't working right? Don't wait until winter to get it fixed. Get ahead of the game and get your fireplace or stove serviced now by the best of Northern Utah winter, Advanced Fireplace and Stove. They service everything from Quadra-Fire pellet stoves to heat and glow fireplaces. Get a 20% discount on your next service and labor when you mention this ad. Call 752-7272 or go to advancedfireplaceandstove.com. Advanced Fireplace and Stove, where comfort is their business.
Spend less time at the post office. With Formax and Mint mailing systems from Les Olson IT, you can quickly, accurately, and easily process your outgoing mail and even save on postage. Fold your documents, stuff and seal your envelopes, print addresses, weigh and measure to apply proper postage, all with the click of a button. With multiple model options available, you're sure to find a Formax solution and Mint mailing device that perfectly fits your business needs.
Les Olson IT.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
This Aggie broadcast is brought to you by Advanced Heating and Air, 3-time Best of Northern Utah gold medalist on News Talk KVNU, where Utah State is always number one.
And we always appreciate S.E. Needham Jewelers. Couples throughout the state purchase their engagement ring sets where Utah gets engaged. Hey, and we actually joined this week. We got a brand new game day sponsor. I want to thank the New Liberty Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Montpelier with their warranty forever. Proud to serve the people of Idaho, Wyoming, and Utah. That's Liberty Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Montpelier that's joined with us as a game day sponsor just this week on KVNU. So 34-33. And in the final stats of interest in this game, 20 first downs, Utah State 27 for UConn. UConn did have 476 yards. The Aggies had 60 yards fewer at 416. But the Aggies only had the ball for 21 and a half minutes. UConn had it for 38 and a half minutes in this game. Aggies 101 rushing yards, UConn 218. Aggies threw for 315, and Legas threw for 204 of that, 11 out of 13. Hillstead had the yards before that. And then 258 for Roberson throwing the ball. That's one of his best games he's had for sure. And I think this is only his fourth career start. He threw 24-33. There was a time in the game when he threw the ball one time there late. I'm glad he didn't run the ball because it sure looked like he could have done that with his legs. Rosa did have 92 yards rushing for them, and Edwards had 73. Ross caught 7 passes for 70 yards. And for the Aggies, Royals got the 7 for 85, 3 touchdowns. He had 116 yards after the catch in that. Switzer had 10 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss and a sack. Dye had 10 tackles. MJ Tafisi had 13. He didn't get one in the fourth quarter. He had 13 at the end of 3 quarters of play, and Ike Larson blocked his 5th kick at Utah State to win the game after they scored with 40 seconds to go. The block kick is obviously the game winner is the way it turned out. So Cache Valley Bank reminds you they'll tailor solutions to meet your goals, personalized attention always. So we'll be back next Saturday. We'll do game day a little after 4 o'clock to get started for homecoming for Utah State against Colorado State. If it's homecoming, it's Colorado State. We'll talk about that next week because we played the Rams a lot, homecoming games. But the Aggies will go in 2-3. Colorado State's playing Utah Tech starting in about an hour. And so we hope you have the rest of a good day. And we will now join the session. It's on KVNU Logan, incidentally. We're KVNU Logan, top of the hour. And we join the following session of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Conference in progress on KVNU on the Sunday afternoon. We'll have the complete evening session tonight on KVNU as well, and both sessions tomorrow.
The noise, clamor,